Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is the month, July, and this is the time of month, near the end, where I let you know once again that in 5 days on July 30th, it's my birthday. It's not really a significant one, although at my age, every birthday is significant. Because you always think, this is going to be my last one. What am I going to do? But now I'm going to be 59 years old. I went for a checkup to see my doctor, and he says, "Oh, you're in great shape for a 70-year-old." I said, "I'm not even 60. He says, "You're in horrible shape. You're going to die. What are you doing?" But nevertheless, because it's my birthday, of course, what better way to say happy birthday than with a donation? And there are links down below if you want to support the channel and donate, even if it's just once for my birthday. I have PayPal down there, Ko-Fi.com. And if you donate through any of those and give me your email address, I will still add you to the list, and you will receive a copy of my book, Live in Cambodia. Soon to be a whole course I plan on making. And of course, you'll receive my weekly exclusive content that I make just for my supporters. So you help me, you help support the channel, you get stuff in return. It's a win-win for everyone. And of course, as always, I appreciate all you guys. So thank you. And also don't forget that if you want copies of my books, those links are also down below. You can just purchase Live in Cambodia if you want to do it that way. You can purchase my book of short horror stories called The Things That Happen at Night. And also, if you like horror books, and every 2 or 3 days I will upload a video discussing and reviewing horror books on my other channel, Horror Reads. That link is also down below if you want to join me on there. So check all that out. Now let's get on with the video. Well, I get a lot of people sometimes asking me, they may be complete newbies, I guess you can say, to Cambodia or moving overseas. And as I said in my last video, I had somebody ask me recently, like, how do I move to Cambodia? Like, if I just wanted to move there, I don't know the procedure, I don't know what to do. And that's understandable, because sometimes people will say, well, just tell them to use Google. But Google has a lot of outdated information, the links you get from Google. You'll see articles about that kind of thing from, so many years ago, 2006, 2007, 2010. And a lot of things have changed since then. The rules are not the same sometimes. The things you have to do. So it can be confusing if you're new to this and you're just now thinking about moving overseas somewhere, possibly to Cambodia, and you just want to know, how would I do that? So I thought I'd make this quick video. And this isn't going to be an in-depth, step-by-step, fully exploratory video on the subject. Like I said, I'm making a course for that. It's going to cover a lot of videos, going to have a lot of in-depth information. But this will be the basics. This will be the things, basically 3 things you need to know if you want to come here long term. This is not for tourists. If you just want to come over here for a couple weeks or a month. This is for people who plan on coming over here for a longer period, at least a year. Whether it's to get a job or just to retire. And hopefully this will help. And the first thing is, what do you do before you leave? This is sometimes overlooked. Because depending on your circumstances, you might have a lot of stuff. What do you do with that stuff? There might be some stuff you have that you can't bring with you, but you don't necessarily want to sell right away. Maybe you plan on coming over here retiring, but spending some time back home, and you have things that you just don't want to get rid of. Or maybe, like me, you just decide to sell everything you have and do it that way. So I hope you can learn from my mistakes in that regard, because I was happy to sell everything I did. I had no problems with that. I've never really been attached to stuff. However, I did not give myself enough time to sell it all as I wanted to before I left. And trying to sell things you still have at home while you're in another country, I went through an intermediary. I went through my roommate I had at the time before I left. And then when something sold after I arrived here, he went ahead and just sent me the money. So give yourself plenty of time no matter what you're going to sell. I sold everything except for a big suitcase where I put all my clothes I was bringing over here in that, and 2 carry-ons with my electronics and laptop and cables and cords and other accessories I needed. I also found out that there are some things, and this is why I'm saying give yourself plenty of time. There are some things I thought would sell right away, so I didn't set them up for sale until a couple weeks before I left. I thought they would sell quick because of the quality and the price I was offering, but they did not. I was kind of surprised. There are other things I put up for sale that sold within the same day or a couple days or something like that. Again, I was very surprised. You never know what people are going to look for in any particular day, I guess. I mean, I had a comic book collection and I wanted to sell that as a whole. I had some pretty good comic books in there, value-wise. And most of them were just standard, not worth more than $1 or $1.25. But I had some that were worth significantly more. And all I had were, I thought they would sell pretty quickly to any comic book collector, fill in back issues, things like that. But mainly what I had were people who were trying to separate the things. They just wanted 1 or 2 comic books and wanted me to give them a price on that. And I was like, I'm not piecing it out. I really don't have time for that. I want to sell the whole collection. So that was a little hard to sell. So think about what you have. And if there's anything you can't sell that you're not attached to, I took before I left, I got a big U-Haul. Well, not a big one. I got the smallest size they had, and I had that filled up with a bunch of things that I wasn't going to sell individually. I just didn't feel like trying to piece those out. I had a lot of books, just a lot of miscellaneous stuff, household stuff, some clothes that I didn't feel like, I'm not going to try to sell my own clothes. So I just packed all those and took them to a Goodwill place where I lived and did it that way. But of course, if you do have stuff you want to keep, you can always put it in a storage unit, pay for that for a year if you're going to be over here at least that long. And it's always good to have somebody back home that you can trust to kind of take care of things if something goes awry, if something happens. You got a backup plan back home, somebody who can go and take care of that for you. So think about that as well. And as far as clothes go, I brought way too many. I had that big suitcase and I just packed all, as many clothes as I could in there, and that was a mistake because they have an abundance of clothes here that fit me, that are really inexpensive, that are lightweight and more fit for this country where it's humid and hot most of the time. And I brought a lot of t-shirts and stuff that were made of heavy cotton, and they make it sweat, So yeah, learn from my mistake there. Depending on why you're coming over here, if you're coming over here to work, bring a couple pair of dress slacks, button-up dress shirts, ties, good pair of dress socks and whatnot. And then all your comfortable clothes, your everyday clothes, whatever it is you like to wear. But if you're not coming over here to work and just retire, then that makes it even easier. Just bring the stuff that makes you comfortable. Bring enough for a week or maybe 2, and you'll find all these places here that will sell you t-shirts and shorts and socks and underwear and flip-flops if you want those, shoes, and you know, any clothing item you could want. So don't overpack is what I'm trying to say, because I really did, and I didn't need most of the items that I had brought with me. But what I'm saying is, make yourself a plan for getting rid of your stuff or taking care of your stuff, and give yourself plenty of time to do that before you head out. Also, before you head out, the bank, hit up the bank. Whatever bank is in your home country, be sure you go in there, you let them know starting on this day you're going to start seeing transactions from Cambodia. Make sure they make a note of that on your bank account, just in case all of a sudden you've never been to another country and you show up in Cambodia and start taking money out of the ATM, and they ping it for being a suspicious transaction because you've never done anything like that before. It's a lot harder to take care of that situation all the way over here, since your bank is going to be, you know, back home. So yeah, be sure you go to your bank and let them know somehow that this is what's going to happen. This is the date it's going to start. Do not flag my account. It's going to be me withdrawing those funds. And yes, I have heard stories about people who had that happen, where they're, you know, they didn't think about that, and all of a sudden they can't use their credit cards, they can't use their debit cards from back home, even though they have plenty of money, because there's been a hold on there. Then they have to try to take care of it all the way over here, halfway across the world or whatever, and just makes it a lot more complicated. So those are the two things I would definitely have you consider before you come over here. Now the second thing, we're going to talk about a visa. You need a visa. If you're coming over here long term, you need the e-visa. And that's the only one I'm going to talk about right now. The e-visa, otherwise known as the ordinary visa. That's the one you need. Currently, unless you hold a Taiwanese passport, you cannot get that online in advance, as you can a tourist visa. But you can get one on arrival. I know a lot of visas can be complicated in a lot of different countries, but this one is really easy here. You show up at the airport with your passport and an extra passport size photo. Remember to bring a couple extras of those with you for different things. And one of those things is going to be your entry card. They'll give it to you on the plane before you land. You fill out your entry card, you attach your passport size photo. When you get up to immigration, you show them that, you show them your passport, tell them you want the e-visa or the ordinary visa, and then they will stamp it and you are on your way. And if you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, like, okay, yeah, and what else? Nothing else. That's it. You're done. You're good. Unless you're unvaccinated, in which case you will have to pay $5 and take a rapid test, a rapid COVID test. If you test negative, then you're good to go. But other than that, that's all you need. And you'll be on your way. After 30 days, you'll get your visa extension. Depending on your purpose for being in the country, will depend on which visa extension you want. If you're going to work, you will get the EB visa extension, and you can get that for up to a year. If you're going to retire, you want the ER visa extension, and that too is good for up to a year. A year is around $300. And that's it, you're good to go. You'll have your year here in Cambodia. All the year-long visas are multiple entry, so you may leave and come back at any time while your visa is still valid without having to start the process over. And the third step, you took care of all your stuff beforehand, you got your visa settled. The third step, enjoy yourself. Start doing whatever it is you came to do here, relaxing, taking a walk down by the river, looking for a job if that's what you're coming over here for. and start enjoying all the local hospitality, the local food, the local scene, and just the locals themselves. Beautiful bunch of people. A lot of people come because the country's cheap, but they stay simply because the people here are so gracious and kind. And just enjoy yourself. Immerse yourself in the culture. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask for help. Lots of people here would be willing to give it to you. Alright, so like I said, those are the basics. Those are the things you need to think about before you make a move to Cambodia. And I hope you consider that and enjoy it. As I said, be sure to check out all my links down below. Wish me a happy birthday by donating. I have PayPal, I have Ko-Fi.com. And again, I will send you stuff in return. It's reciprocal. So consider that down below. Other channels vlogging from Cambodia, those are down below. Check those out. Great channels. Get to learn more about the area, see things that I don't get to see, that I don't get to experience. It's always good to have the most information that you can. Also, all my social media is down below, and join me on there. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys in the next one.